So, today is day 6 since you started considering the 5-step process. And you're probably tracking and you are in step 3 of the tracking process. If you're doing that, excellent. But if you're not doing that, don't worry. I got you. You're probably stuck in beliefs, stuck in thoughts like, this is not for me, or it's a lot of work, or I don't want my husband to know about this, or I want all my pleasures and this just seems like a lot of deprivation. This is just a lot of work. Trust me, I've had all these thoughts and many more all the while. Like even when I was not trying to have a baby, like I just finished having baby. In fact, I didn't want to have a baby, but then I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be at my normal body weight. I wanted to be 52. 52 is my number. I want to do that. So my brain would, I knew it that, this is how we achieve it, but then still my brain kept offering these thoughts again and again. I knew the process, but still I would have so much resistance and I had to do a lot of work. I had to get coached a lot around it to reach where I am. And now I know the answers and I'm giving it to you. So the first thing is why this is common. Why does our brain keep offering these thoughts? And the reason is, if you remember, I told you in the earlier episodes about the two brains. We have two parts of our brains, not the anatomical brain, like that is different, but there is this, like the parts of our brain which helps us decide and function throughout the day. There are two parts. There is a higher human brain, and then there is a lower primitive brain or an animal brain. That's in the limbic system and amygdala. And the higher brain is the prefrontal cortex. So these two parts of our brains are like constantly making us do things. So the lower brain is the one who's concerned with our survival. Anything which doesn't fit in the motivational triad. Motivational triad is there should be pleasure, there should be no pain, and it should be easy and efficient. This is the motivational triad. This is what the lower brain is constantly concerned with. Is the activity pleasurable? Yes, no. Not pleasurable? We are not going to do that. Is the activity painful? Yes, we are not going to do that. Is the activity difficult? Yes, we are not going to do that. That's what the lower brain, animal brain, is constantly doing. So it's like, suppose if you look at the caveman, who, when we were cavemen, we used to live in the cave. It was safer to be inside the cave, right? But we need food. So it was our higher brain which was like calculating everything. Okay, we'll go at this time. All the animals and predators are sleeping. So we'll go out at this time. We'll go out. And then we are like vigilant and we'll come back in. We'll go out. We'll come back in. So it is our human brain which makes us invent things, devise things. Just look around in your room. Everything that is there, an innovation which doesn't come from nature, is coming from our human brain, our higher evolved brain. So anytime you are doing the old habits, you're eating the food that you're eating, you have to ask yourself, who is in charge? Is it your higher brain or is it your lower brain? Who is in charge when we are eating unhealthy foods which we know are not good for our PCOS? It's our lower brain because it's pleasurable, right? Who is in charge when we are having arguments with our partner? It's our lower brain because it wants to keep us safe. It thinks that we are in danger. Who is in charge when we think like a victim, like why me? Why am I suffering in PCOS? It's our lower brain because it thinks that, it's familiar to feel like a victim because we have practiced it for so long. Who is in charge when we are like all depressed because we are thinking, I don't know what to do? It's our lower brain because it's that part of our brain is again familiar with that sort of thinking. So if you have the higher brain and your higher brain works very discreetly in different situations where it's important, where it's not important, it just shuts off. Like it just lets the lower brain do its thing. So what does the higher brain want from you? You have a higher brain, I have a higher brain. What does our higher brain want? It wants us to be at a normal body weight, a natural form. It wants us to connect with our partners. It wants us to make babies and like keep on procreating to make bigger families. We don't have to do that, but at least 1 or 2 would be great. And it wants our well-being, our emotional and physical well-being. So how do we make our lower brain do what our higher brain wants? And that happens with tracking, assessing, and planning. Again, tracking, assessing, planning. Tracking, assessing, planning. That's it. Doing this every day. Same repeated process of like writing down what you ate, assessing what worked, and what would I do differently tomorrow. Planning. Doing this work every day, every meal is the work, how you train your lower brain to do what you want. Yet, your brain would be wishing a shortcut. It would want you to go and get that fertility treatment to get pregnant quickly. And I will still warn you, that is always available, trust me. But tomorrow I'll tell you a short story about why I do what I do, so that you don't have to suffer. All right, my friend, I'll see you tomorrow.